This video is an overview of the core funding contractual requirements reporting system. It is intended for service providers and will show how you log on and link your accountant for reporting purposes. All service providers will receive an email from the department. The email will show your registered email username, and if this email address is linked to other service providers, they will show down below. Let's log on. Click on the link. Let's click on the service provider icon and let's request our password. Put in our email address and click on confirm. This will now send us an email where we can manage our password. When we receive our email, we click on the link to manage our password. The password must be a minimum of 8 characters, max 15. Once the password is successfully saved, we can now log into the system. Click on Service Provider, put in our email, enter in our password, do our sum, and click Login. When we log in, the first thing we see is the first service provider we are linked to. In this case, service provider Daycare Demo 1. I can see I have no linked accountant. I have DCE DIY funding for this particular provider. I also have an icon called Related Service Providers. If I click on this, I will see the other service providers my PAU email is linked to. If I want to go in and look at any of these other service providers, so click on number 4 for example, I will see the DCE DIY funding for that particular provider, and I can also see they are not linked to an accountant either. By clicking on Related Service Providers, I always see a list of all my providers. There are 2 ways I can link my accountant. If I'm a single service provider, I can click on Linked Accountant, click on Plus, acknowledge responsibility for the accuracy of the data, click Proceed, link 1. I can then enter the email address of my accountant and click Confirm. If the accountant is not in the system already, it will ask me to put in the practice name, first name, last name, and continue. If I click confirm and the system already has my accountant in, like this example, you can just click on the accountant, it will go green, and click OK, and that will link your accountant. If I have a number of service providers linked to my email address, I can click on Related Service Providers, go over to this button here, click to manage your service provider data, and I can download a service provider template. This template will allow me link all my accountants in one go. The sheet will download and I can open it in Excel. I will need to enable editing. Once I have filled out my sheet, I can now get ready and import it. Click on the icon, click on Upload Service Provider, choose your location, click on Import, check your data, and click on Save. This will import all of my accountant information and link all my service providers to that accountant. You'll now see that my linked accountant is Super Accountant and Partners, Mary Jones. And if I click on my related service providers, I'll see for my other service providers linked to my PAU email address that I also have Mary linked. If I'm logged back into the system, at any time I can click on the submissions icon. This will show any submissions my accountant has done on my behalf. If I want to look at a submission, and I can see here my accountant for this particular service provider has done a submission, I can click on it and it will show the submission, the income and expenditure the accountant has uploaded. If I want a copy of this for my own records, I can click on the PDF icon in the top right hand corner, and this will export the data for me. This data will appear in PDF format and can be saved locally for your records.